was in here and I'm just like, every time I come in to set up this podcast, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Every time I come in here, I'm like, hey, this fucking table. and
It was pretty rickety.
Bro, it still is, don't worry. And I was like, and I always call Addis when I get in here.
Yeah.
I call him and he doesn't answer. I'm like, because I always call him to go, bro, just run into Bunnings on your way in and we'll just grab some of these legs and we'll just put them under this table.
Never happens.
Miss him every time. So I'm sitting in here scratching my head this morning. I'm thinking, all this shit in here, I'm sure I can conjure up a bloody way and an idea to fix this table.
Bro, that's perfect.
It's not bad, eh?
What's wrong with that?
That's good. It's good.
I told you on the first podcast, I'm like, bro, you're a builder.
Hey.
What's wrong with this table?
It's time.
Oh, you're an old builder, right? That's gone now.
Yeah, it is, lad. Oh, all right. Yeah, don't look around too much, mate, at all the bloody finishings around this joint. Far out.
It's like a Denym Noke Renault.
Oh, lad. I got the obviously because we pulled the branding off the brand that we had, the Blio brand on the front door when you come in.
Yep.
It's just through summer or whatever, it just got hot and the glue was just slipping, and so they all started to just slide, and the Blio was all out like this, and I just kept seeing it just out a little bit, so I just ripped them all off, and then finally got the plaster in there the other day to do it. But I've got to come in and I've got a box around here with bloody paint and everything in it.
You sound like a entrepreneur.
That I am. I was only just thinking the other day though, I think for this office anyhow, I feel like every 6 months it just needs like a bit of attention. Like you come in and just give it a bit of a zhuzh, whatever it is, because shit just breaks, or you need to tighten this up or fix that, or
Yeah, I don't think about that because I work from home.
Yeah,
my office is at home, which sucks because it's very lonely at home and you don't get to interact with people very often unless you're on a call or in a Teams meeting or whatever.
Yeah,
I miss having a space. But really, like my whole career, I've never really, for the first part of my career, I spent in an office. But yeah, mostly working from home or somebody else's office in somebody else's boardroom because, as a consultant, a traveling consultant, you often find yourself sitting around a boardroom or sitting in a boardroom doing work to present to a board.
Do you think you'd be more productive in an office environment with the team?
I think so. I don't know. I've become really good at working on my own and having my own direction and having my own goals and time boxing. And so I'm good managing my own time. I think the benefit, like even what we were talking about with Rowan, is you lack the community. You lack being shoulder to shoulder with someone and laughing and whenever Adnan and I catch up and we do catch up. Probably less than we should, but when we do, it's just like I'm seeing an old mate and we're having a laugh, and you miss that camaraderie and that and it's amazing actually. Every time we do get together, the ideas that we have and that we generate from side by side discussion as opposed to across through the screen, the creativity that comes up is way more intense than having a conversation over an issue or an item through a screen.
Yeah, right.
And probably because communication is not just words, right? It's,
correct.
It's looks, it's body language, it's, tone, cadence, all that sort of stuff. So you just miss out so much of that through a screen.
Yes.
In my opinion.
Yeah. There's an energy exchange that goes beyond the screen.
Yeah. And I feed off that. I feed off, I love being around people. A lot of people say that what do they call them? The introspective types. Introvert, that's the one.
Yeah.
Far out.
Nearly there, lad.
Nearly there. Introverts, if you give an introvert and extrovert 5 coins, then at the start of the day, the introvert, if he's around people, he's going to blow all his coins and he needs to go and recharge and gain his coins back.
Yep.
If we're thinking Mario Kart or something, But the extrovert, they actually add more coins when they're around people. It's when they're on their own that their coins get depleted. So I'm kind of like that. I need to be around people, but I'm also very comfortable on my own too.
I felt it as soon as you walked in here this morning with Rowan. He seems a little bit introvert.
Yes.
And then and you come in and there's just this energy straight away. I walked out and I was like, oh, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
you just feel it straight away.
Yeah.
Um,
It's good and bad at the same time, I reckon, though, because I pick up on energy and I feed off energy.
Yeah.
And I can, because I've done work on this,
yeah.
I feel like sometimes I can change that energy
Yes.
and bring a different energy into the room, but it also picks stuff up off people too.
Yep.
And if I walk into a depressive place or whatever and I'm not ready for it,
Yeah.
I can easily be overwhelmed by it.
Yes. Yeah, you are good at
Very
that. Bro.
sensitive
You
like
are-
that.
You do have good self-awareness, mate. Spatial
thanks,
awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely notice that. A podcast I'm listening to at the moment, fella on Rogan, old fella. He started in like radio frequency back in the military when he was however young.
Yeah.
And he seems like he's an old man now. And, or lad, the stuff that that I haven't gotten all the way through the podcast. It's going into the extraterrestrial stuff. But going through the motions and him, he's a scientist, like he's a physicist, right? So he has to actually, his stuff is science. It's not just hearsay or whatever.
Yep.
But talking about, they put, what's the lie detector machines? What are they called? We'll call it a lie detector machine.
I think that's what they're called, are they?
They got a name. There's some sort of
I think,
name.
yeah, far out.
Yeah, but they put that on plants, and they are getting frequency off plants, like energy from plants, and they go into talking about ESP.
Yep.
Like where people there is known cases now. Have you heard of the telepathy tapes?
No, yeah, sounds familiar.
It's a podcast. You probably heard me talk about it.
Yeah, yeah.
But really what it is, they've found this discovery, more so in autistic kids and people, autistic people, where we have the known five senses, right? So sight, hearing, smell, touch and taste. And then there's always the so-called sixth sense, right? Which is the feeling or whatever we're talking about, right?
Yep.
Or one of. And the telepathy tapes, it's a documentarian that goes in and discovers there's this relationship where a child and their mother, the mother learns that they're like, the child is reading my mind. Like I'm saying this and they're writing, I'm not even saying this, I'm thinking this and they're writing it. And then, and I'm paraphrasing all of this to in short, but they discover all these other cases, like obviously social media and whatnot gets out and there's other people that reach out, but they do these tests where they have all of the crew that comes in that are completely new to this and have no angle in on it, but they will have someone sit in the other room, someone literally, and this autistic child sit and just draw. Right, I think one of the examples was like a deck of Uno cards.
Yep.
And it was like 100% accuracy, 100%.
What?
They go into also talking about animals, right? There's a test done where dogs, like they'll have cameras watching a dog at home, right? And as soon as the owner is at work and goes, all right, I'm going home now, the dog's like, what? Just getting excited, running around, doing all this sort of stuff. There was another test.
It's not time-based. It's actually like they're perceiving a change.
Correct.
Wow.
So there's a sensory experience that they pick up on. We call it ESP or whatever. But bro, it's the same thing. You're saying you're sensitive to an energy walking into a space.
Yep.
And where I guess, and Rogan asked the question, and he says, do you think this is something we've developed just recently, or do you think we've always had it? And it's become a weak sensory experience for us because we're developing forms of technology that are making our communication receptors, we're becoming lazy, basically. And
redundant almost.
And we've even created language to speak now. But prior to that, was this something that we used to communicate with? And the autistic kids or community, because they are physically enabled to do that type of communication, they use this other one and it's developed. And that you'd actually probably get a lot out of listening to that, working in the sector. And they talk about the autistic kids. They'll talk about They spoke about this place called The Hill, where they would all meet up and talk. And bro, it sounds really trippy.
You like non-verbals talking to each other, you mean? Or
ESP, bro. Like, and they would know each other, and they've
crazy.
met each other, or they can refer or talk to someone. Excuse me.
Play a noise.
Yeah. You f***ing dickhead. Go away, dickhead. But that's really cool one, man. And I can't wait to see, because this physicist, he's come from this science, hard science, and a big part of his career has been bringing his findings to, he's been contracted and hired for the most part of it to like CIA, defense.
Yeah, right.
And that's what Rogan's saying. He's like, what are some of the reactions where you've taken this work in? He goes, oh, mate, I've had it all. Like people laughing, people walk out and all this sort of thing. And he's got data to basically back up what he's saying. So, yeah, bro.
That sounds crazy, because I've worked with a lot of like people with the autism. Like I've been around it ever since I've been out of, well, it's in the family, for one, Asperger's.
Yeah.
Well, it's all kind of a spectrum now. But I've worked around it so often, and I've been around so many people, you know, in a caring situation where the autism is crippling.
Right.
I've also been around people with autism that have got amazing savant-like talents as well.
Right.
But it's really sad to see the lives of some of those autistic kids that and people in general that really don't have those connections. And you think, what sort of life do they have? You know, they can't communicate.
Bro, well, this. Sorry, you go.
I was just going to say, this sounds pretty interesting.
Bro, this has given me a deep, like that telepathy tapes has given me a deeper understanding, like looking at people like that now, just going, maybe they have a deeper connection than we do. And it's bro, it is fascinating. I'll connect you to it, man. I don't even know where it's sitting at now, but it went like #1 podcast, like over to Rogan and all the best. And it's really cool, bro. And they bring you in. It's sort of like you're there as part of the documentary. So just audible format. And so what she'll do, she'll narrate it and she'll go, so what we did today is like we had to go in and we met such and such, and I want to tell you, so this is the test that we did, and then it brings you in and you get the live dialogue from from the feed, and then it's the show like over a series of maybe like 10 different episodes where she'll travel somewhere else, meet someone else, and you hear their story, and you meet someone else, hear their story, and you hear the common threads in all of it. And they're interviewing scientists, and they get scientists involved, bro. It's really good, man.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
I'll check it out.
Yeah, bro.
I've seen the. Have you seen the fungal? What do they call fungal church?
No. Fungal church.
Fungal church. That's where I thought you were going with all this, right?
Oh,
so there's apparently like mushrooms and fungi can actually send like messages one to another.
Right.
And I've seen these guys do what they call fungal church. I don't know if it's the real thing or not, but they're literally like in this.
Hit me with this, lad. I'm waiting.
They're in a cathedral type situation, and up on the altar up the front, there's like a whole bunch of mushrooms and fungi laid out.
Yeah.
And the guy that looks like a DJ's got his lab coat on, and he's literally like probing the fungi from one over here to this one over here with probes, and the fungi is actually sending a message like a electric pulse through this machine, and between all the fungi, they're all in concert together.
What?
And so they convert these fungi impulse into music.
Yeah, so that plays out into music then.
It plays out into the music in the audience, and that further stimulates the fungi because it's their frequency that they're playing, and then they all start going off, and then it's like an orchestra playing this thing.
What?
Yeah, I don't know how the probes work to converting it into something that's playable, but apparently it's a phenomenon right now where you can actually book a session and you go in and you have this live demonstration of the fungi talking to each other.
Mate, this is where we need a screen. Pull it up, Jamie.
Tamie your dog.
Man, that's
it's some what do you call it? what's that movie with the blue people and the big people? Avatar. It's like
yeah.
Avatar.
Yeah, right.
You know, what she was investigating when she got on the planet.
Yes.
Sigourney Weaver's character. She was getting down and putting probes in and going, look, they're talking to each other.
Well, lad, this is this whole thing with consciousness, right? I don't know if you dig much into that, but no one understands what consciousness is or where it comes from, and from a scientific
of course.
point of view, right?
Yeah.
But that, right, that there's a documentary Morgan Freeman narrates. It's called Life on Our Planet, and part of that series is when fungus and what it actually, how it started and what it grows into. And it's like this, it's an integral part of bloody life today on a massive scale. So I've got to check out this fungal church, mate.
Oh, brother. I haven't watched it too much. I don't even I don't know if there's an expose out there where they expose these guys doing fungal church.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like the science is out there. I think Rogan had what's his name?
Bloody Rogan.
Rogan the dog.
He just gets them all.
I know, right? He had the guy that's the fungal expert, and he basically had that guy in to talk about it, and he was verifying and saying, yes, like fungi, even trees apparently have a way to communicate within the forest. And
right. That's where I was going with the consciousness thing, is that they might even have a higher level of consciousness and communication and connection than we do as humans.
Yep.
And we're just so ignorant or arrogant to even consider or think about that. And that's
well, for me, it's not a new thing, right?
Yes.
What you're talking about for me is a spiritual realm.
Yeah,
potentially.
Yeah. Oh well, but this is what they're trying to find out. Like they're trying to have some sort of scientific data where they can prove it, right? And that this guy that Rogan's got on that I'm listening to at the moment, he's going in and what they're crossing off what it isn't.
Yes.
Right. So because it is such a new thing, and so they're crossing off and doing these tests on what it isn't at this stage, but they're still doesn't sound like they're close to it at all with what it is. What's funny is I love Rogan because he's obviously the carnivore diet.
Yep.
He goes, I can't wait till the day that they prove that plants have feelings and consciousness. He goes, what have all the vegans going to do then?
They'll be protesting.
Oh, that yeah. So it's a deep space, man. That's interesting. But what's your input on that from your spiritual standpoint?
Man, how they connect with each other.
I guess, relating it to plants, like we just covered a little bit there, but like as far as like plants having a consciousness and, communicating and possibly being more advanced than...
No idea, man, other than I think there's something physically going on if they're sending pulses and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So from a physiological standpoint, I think that with the fungi deal, there's obviously from what I understand, the root systems act like a brain in the sense that there is a core, there is a track for a pulse to follow.
Yep.
Whereas what you're talking about is tracks that we can't see, where information's flowing from one place to the next. I mean, if you look at quantum computing and stuff like that, which is, we're getting into the depths now, but even quantum computing and the whole idea of a qubit and all that sort of stuff where something can exist in multiple states at the same time. It's
hard. That's hard to fathom that. I've had someone try to explain that to me, but
yeah, it's you've got to take a leap in the theory to understand what they're talking about.
Yeah.
You've got to believe something fundamental about what they're talking about so that they can explain it and hang a framework on it. So that's why I think sometimes they lose people in that conversation because they obviously found something that works, but do they fully understand it?
Yeah.
Have you heard of that Large Hadron Collider? They call it CERN.
Oh, I don't think.
I forget I think it's in it's Switzerland, I think it is, where they've got it, where they've basically dug this big loop under the ground, and that's where they were firing hydrogen atoms around this big.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then they were using
Is it in
electromagnetism to
Switzerland?
speed it up.
Is it in
Switzerland.
Is it in Switzerland?
Yeah. And they're building another one at the moment. But one of the leaders of that facility said that we may open a portal, and we want to send some things through it, and we can anticipate that something might want to come back through it. You know, and these are science guys.
Is that the God molecule?
That's where
is that where that sort of that terminology or that?
That's where that came from. Yeah.
Yeah.
The discoveries that came out of the Hadron Collider,
Yeah.
I believe, led to the discovery of dark matter and all that sort of stuff that they've been talking about, which is kind of well above my head. I could probably understand it if I had someone explain it to me, but yeah,
I love listening to it. I love it. Like where this guy's going now. I literally just chimed out, and there is a documentary I actually saw again, Rogan. If I sound like I'm endorsing this fella, but anyway.
We've all been Roganized, that's all right.
Get me on that payroll. Where was I going with that? He advertised a new documentary where it's like the government are now ready to announce that there has been extraterrestrial activity and there is extra. Have you seen that?
I've seen that. Yeah.
So anyhow, the lad that I'm listening to now is off that, and so he's going into.
I think I know his name.
I'm going to get his name. I'm going to get it.
Come on, get it.
Good. Get that consciousness. Hal Puthoff.
Nah, fuck, I didn't know that one.
Hal Puthoff. Yeah, so he's a physicist in researching energy generation, space, propulsion.
Was he part of Area 51?
Oh, probably, lad.
There's another guy that he's had on before that's from Area 51.
I've heard that fella. But this guy, yeah, he's crossing over into extraterrestrial.
Yeah,
and
right.
They're saying that they have found stuff. And I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that stuff as well. Like the tic-tac objects that come in and out of like the ocean and then move at light speed in one direction, or like it defies gravity, essentially.
Yeah, like, I know it's mad, man. It's like, I don't know, is this topic always been here, what we're talking about right now? And is it something that, you know, this documentary is finally coming out, but has there always been these documentaries, and it's just so much on our radar now because it's in like pop culture or whatever?
Well, it's always been there, bro. Like if you look at the Bible, like the Bible is full of extraterrestrial experiences.
Yeah, right.
Except it's not an unknown force or quantity, or we don't not know where it comes from. The Bible is very explicit that there's a spiritual realm, that there's a whole bunch of fallen angels and demons in the background, and angels doing God's work and helping orchestrate God's agenda on the planet.
But is that talking metaphorically? Like, because you always got to look into that, right, and go, is this literal? Are they speaking literally, or is it metaphorically? And that's right.
But we're literally finding things now, like these objects.
But so I'm got such a skeptic mind, right? So all of the videos that you see, even this documentary, I always ask the question, why am I seeing this? Right?
Yeah, why are they showing me it?
Why? That's right.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
What's the agenda? And I guess until you actually see some little blue fellow running around or whatever it is, where you need that conviction to go, I believe in that now.
Yep.
I guess you'll never know. And this, you know, when you listen to a podcast and you're getting in and out of a car and you've come to doing this and I don't know about you, but I don't really sort of just get a chance to sit down and listen to a podcast. I'm always doing something.
Yeah, it's always multitasking.
But I just literally jumped off it now, and I'm like, so he said that something, again, I'm paraphrasing, but like China, Russia, and America have found something, right?
Yep.
And then he sort of took it in a direction where I don't know if they've found it or if they haven't found it or what. And I'm like, got to go back into it. So be next podcast. I'll have some more information on that.
Yeah, bro. And look, and unless they announce it to the public and say, here it is, it's all just speculation anyway. You know what I mean? And it's like you asked me about, well, what do I think is acting on the world? And it's like, I don't know. I don't really know. I know there's a spiritual realm because I've seen the result of engaging in a spiritual realm and seeing things happen. So I believe that there's a force that's acting on the world that we can't see.
Yep.
And it's in some type of other dimension that's accessible by them. But in terms of like UFOs, what's out there, what those Tic Tac things are, what's going to come through that portal when they open it at CERN, I have no idea. All I've got is my own experiences. So I would never say, hey, that thing over there, that's a demon, or you know, like that Tic Tac thing that they found. Like Rogan talks about this.
Trademark that.
Tic Tac thingy. I'll come with a shirt next week that says Tic Tac thing. And they talk about in the book of Ezekiel. It's they talk about this cherubim or this angel that's got like rings, like rings and then rings and then rings, kind of like a
Gyroscope.
Gyroscope, that's it. Kind of like a gyroscope, and they're an angel and they're in the air and they got eye. It's covered in eyes, and it's very descript. And I'm butchering it big time, but it's in the book of Ezekiel, and they talk about these things that sit in the air. And I've seen clips of the Tic Tac things and these circular things that look like what the Bible talks about. So you hear Tucker Carlson went on. Whatever, he goes on everything now, but he's been on a few podcasts now, and he talks about this phenomenon as well. And he says he's very direct about it. He's like, this is biblical. I believe that this is what the Bible's been talking about, where we're coming to the end of an age now, and these things are going to become a lot more prevalent. And the Bible talks about that in the end times, that there will be knowledge on the earth that's distributed in a way that it's so accessible that knowledge is going to be like nothing. Whereas throughout the centuries, we had these scrolls, and you get knowledge from these scrolls, and now we get knowledge from our phones, and we're integrated with these things. You know, knowledge is cheap now.
Yeah, lad. We went to I think last weekend we went to the Brisbane Museum, and we're just rolling through there. Right. And have you been in there?
The one at South Bank?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just rolling through there, and it just gives you this crazy perspective how far we've come in such a short space of time. Like,
I know, right?
I was looking at the medical equipment they had sort of like 100 years ago, and it's like a hammer and like a saw and like, oh, no shit,
Literally.
no joke, bro. Like a leather belt, and you just look at it,
Strap him down.
Yeah. But literally, and now we're putting bloody brain implants in people, and they think, and that, you know, like that. When you look at that, you go, holy shit! Like our grandparents probably didn't even write with a. You know, like
talking about grandparents and your point.
Yeah,
my grandmother's an amputee.
Yeah, right.
So they and took her leg off, right?
Yeah, but they would have had penicillin and like
they did.
Yeah.
But on your point,
yeah,
they just jammed this like thing on the end of her leg, and now she's got a like peg leg like a pirate.
I was just on the tip of my tongue when you said it.
But they've got technology now, like you said, that can read the signals that your brain is trying to send your hand, and it intercepts that signal, and they know how to reroute the signals back and forth from your prosthetic. So she's of the generation where she kind of missed out on that now.
Yeah.
She's in her 90s almost. You know, and her disability has made her quite immobile now.
Yeah.
But she, you know, if she was just a generation older or younger, or maybe a few, she might have had one of those prosthetics that can actually do stuff and, you know, have a better experience walking or getting sensory input and feedback from prosthetics that are now just, you know, just as impressive as an iPhone is compared to the old telephones.
I think it's the book. Tony Robbins, one of his recent ones called Life Force. And I think in there, like basically that book is just, you know, what he does. He goes and looks for the best in their fields and then just literally he sort of aggregates it and then gives his summary or pulls it all together, so to speak. That one is just all about health, and like he talks about stem cells. There's a big part of it, but really he's sort of his message in there, or one of, is saying that like if you can be healthy for the next I think 10 to 15 years, you probably live to your 140 because of the technology and the advancements, not only in like quantum computing, but that crosses over into biology because of how they can count cells and predictability. So like the advancements and how that's crossing over into biology as well.
Yeah. Well, even have you heard of Gary Brecker?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, man.
He's my boy.
Gary. Gary, when are you coming on, brother?
Come on. Gary, got a spot next Thursday for you, Baz. 2:30. Friday, actually. What am I thinking? Yeah.
But no, you'll be at a wedding next Friday, bro. What are you looking
at? That's right. That's right. Sorry, Gary. Yeah, push you back, mate.
But he, he's come onto the scene now because of the work that he's done with DNA and the data that he's had access to, right?
Yeah.
So it's only since the advent of AI that we've actually been able to map the entire human genome now.
Yeah.
So what we know about human biology just in the last 10 years has exploded to the point where, like, you know, if you follow what he's saying and you can see all the anecdotal evidence of like the Dana Whites and all the different people that have had their lives transformed by this man's medical approach, you know, that information that we have now is life-changing.
Yeah.
You know?
We're living on the cusp now of obviously like, you know, cancer, heart disease. I still feel like, probably like get shot for saying this, but like heart disease, I feel like cancer is still the unknown one. Like I feel like cancer is like this cellular thing, which still, if you're healthy and you do all of these things, right? Like Gary Brecker is an advocate for what he's doing, and I feel like it's that information starting to come through now. If you do this, you're going to be healthy and you won't get cancer. Yep. Whereas I feel like up until this point in time, it's been this unknown. I sort of feel like heart disease, which was the biggest killer for a long period of time there, don't, you know, fucking slow down on the sugar and stop smoking, and those things played that intricate role in that disease. Yep. I still feel like cancer, there's like this little bit of an unknown, but I think now we're living in that generation where that's probably going to dissolve, and it's going to be this known thing now of we will probably live a lot longer, because imagine if we had no disease.
I know,
right? And we all died of old age. Now with all the bloody ice baths and all the shit, whatever we're doing, the supplementation, all that sort of shit, you wonder, our generation, how long we are actually going to live for, and if there's no disease. So it's do we just all go the way of man, and it's no different, and we just get a bit of different quality of life before we get there? What do you mean by that?
Like, how truly older are we going to live? Like, is that, we don't know yet.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you know what I mean? Because life is freaking stressful now. You know, like I talk to like my mum, for example, and I'm like, Mum, was life this stressful when you were my age?
Yeah.
And she was probably having stress because of what's going on at home with her relationship with my father. But, you know, life in general is way more stressful now, is from what I understand. I mean, that's my perspective because I'm living it. But I think with the advent of the phone and bringing that information, it also comes with a lot of stress.
Yep.
I think people stress themselves out a lot, like playing Dr. Google, for example, thinking they've got cancer or thinking they've got some terrible thing wrong with them because they've looked up a few symptoms online and set their life on a course of like fear and anxiety and notifications and pings and
bro, we're caught in the intellect, bro. We're so caught in the intellect at the moment in this day and age that we live in. Like that's my take on it, right? Like, so let's say everything now is driven by information, notification, everything which is just like intelligence based, thinking based.
Yeah.
So you've got so much information, so you've got so much more to worry about, right? Rather than being in nature or whatever it is that brings you down and feeling.
Yep.
And getting out of your head, like, and just not taking everything so seriously, not worrying about anything, literally having experiences with people and sort of having more feeling
Yep.
around.
Well, yeah, you've heard of earthing, right?
Yeah, lad.
It's like
Yeah, lad.
you do it every morning, right?
I do, lad. I do. And I'm a massive believer in it, man.
Yeah.
A massive believer.
But if we're all in our head, are we earthing? You know, it's like they say the biggest. I heard this study the other day that people who get sunlight and regular sun are more exposed to melanomas, but the vitamin D that it produces from being in the sun actually gives you countermeasures and actually immunity to the sun cancer. So as we've been told for a generation now, slip, slop, slap, get out of the sun.
Yeah.
But apparently that's killing us
Yep.
because of the lack of vitamin D that we need. That we actually need, like Superman, we need the sun to charge our immune system.
Yeah, man. I hear you.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's my mum, mate. She's from the future.
She's always been ahead of the curve.
at a young age, she's always been, and she's always been like, oh, there's probably more bloody chemicals in that sunscreen than what the sun's going to do for you. So just get out there and get a bit of sun, and don't get burnt. Right?
Yeah.
Don't do that. But yeah, it's funny. Anyhow, but bro, like living in the intellect now, that's a real thing, man. And it sort of goes in my opinion, and it goes back to, if you think about like our ancestors or whoever it was, we didn't have these forms of communication, these tools and these devices and things like that. So like, bro, I can get pinged by like 100 people in 1 minute.
Yep.
And straight away, like, so it's giving me all this stimulus, right? Like, I'm like, oh, but that means I can access this, I can do this. And my mind is going crazy, man.
Yep.
But like on the flip side to that, like how do I get that stimulus from nature or relationships or from family? Like, where does that come from? And so I do think, I feel like we're not getting enough adventure in our lives. I always come back to that because I feel like it
gives me goosebumps when you say that. It's like, I want to. As soon as you say adventure, something in me is like, let's fucking do it.
100%, man. There's a cool book written in the 60s, Desmond Morris, Human Zoo, and he talks about it. He goes into it, the concrete jungle. We confine ourselves, and he talks about it like literally we create a zoo and confine ourselves to it, and we become dependent, worry. There's all these signs of anxiety, stress.
It's like institutionalization for criminals.
For humans, naked ape. He talks exactly about all of that, as opposed to being out in nature and stress-free. You just,
It's almost like you're discharging yourself into the earth, right?
Yeah. But not only that too, though, I think, were we talking about it before, where when you hear, right, if there's a child or whoever it is, you got 100 worries. Right? Oh, I've got to get that phone. That phone's ringing. I've got to turn these lights out. I've got to do that. I've got to this, that, and this, and that. You're out in the jungle. You got no water. You got one problem.
Yeah, bro.
Get water.
Just get that water.
Get that water. And like, so I don't know, man. We covered a lot there, but damn fungal church. No, so
church.
I think we just needed to vent there, lad. Me and you needed to.
I know,
jump on
right?
it.
We needed to void ourselves into the earth and discharge.
I'm huge on it though, bro, and I believe that's where something you, Kyle said to me once. We're working at the Chook House, and I don't know how we got onto it, but it was about Aboriginal culture, and we were talking, and I don't know, we got into this debate, and I'm like, yeah, but they've been here the longest. They've been here like there's actual proof, scientific proof that they're the longest living human civilization. And he goes, but they didn't even invent the wheel. and I was like, yeah, I know. And I was like, but there's also a part in that, right? That's the intellect, but there's the part of that where they embodied the spiritual or the feeling side, and they lived with the land.
With the land, yeah.
That's right. And didn't feel the lack or the need to go into the intellect because they had everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know that for a fact. Like
Yep.
I'm obviously, that's my interpretation of it, and I try to beautify that culture because it's obviously my culture as much as I can. But I feel like that's a part that is part and parcel, and I feel like the intellect is moving so much faster than the heartfelt feeling.
Yeah.
Right. So, and coming back to why is it all so stressful now?
Yep.
It's just, bro, information, stimulus. Like
That's
why,
it.
Why, and kids,
It's not getting any better either.
no.
Because you used to have to pay, like for Rowan's services, you pay a top dollar to have someone of his caliber sit down and talk to you and give you advice. You can get that on,
Yeah.
it's probably not the same quality and it's not as nuanced as him, but it will be soon.
Yeah.
Because someone who's like Rowan is going to sit down and train a model
Yeah.
on how to talk to someone, on how to review someone's situation and go, oh, cool, that's been encountered 73,000 times over here. Here's what you do in that situation.
Yeah.
And I think that as much as we're moving towards the golden age of like everyone's going to live forever, there's also stresses on the human mind and on the human body that I don't think we understand at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, like it's almost like, you know, like this, I love how you say it's the world of the intellect. It's almost like that intellect or that thing that's we think that's giving us more information, more convenience, more everything is actually also robbing us of what your culture and ancestors did, which is be one with nature.
Yeah.
Which seems to be where we get our health from.
Yep.
You know, if discharging into the earth by going out onto the beach and putting your feet on the dirt, that's healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I think the Shaolin warrior, he did a can't remember his name. Did a podcast with Stephen Bartlett. Shout out to Steve, my boy.
next Friday, 2 p.m.
Yeah, that's right.
I've got a wedding.
Yeah, that's right. But he spoke about it as being just an imbalance now, right? Like, because everything is always everything is always one, right? The yin yang. He goes into it. He's the Eastern culture. He talks about being like so heavy in the intellect and the mind that, like, and that's what I mean, like lack of adventure. Like adventure is one of those things, bro. If you're standing on a edge of a waterfall or a cliff, or you're out there for a week and you got to try and survive, there's just this different feeling that comes over you, and this experience that nothing information based you could get. It's and he talks about it like literally we're just so out of balance with that now, and the body too, right? We've got an amazing tool which is our mind, but we've also got an amazing tool which is our body. Which we don't use to its extent either. So which is really cool. I love that he went there. Yeah.
It's crazy, man. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how good, I don't know how we're going to live forever if we don't get some of those fundamental things right.
I've got a theory for you, lad.
Go on then.
I haven't really thrown this one around the lab much, but on what we were just talking about then, right? Being so intellect strong and heavy, and so ultimately, if let's say that's where it is, and our body or our physical form is so weak now, right? You know, if you think about the pyramids, right, and it's like, how did those things get built, right? I wonder.
Well, look out.
No, but I wonder, like in the capability of the body, you wonder what actually is possible of it, not just in the lifetime that you have now for this 80 or 100 years or whatever it is, you're born and you develop it. Think about the millions of years or however long it's been since we've had physical form, human being, what we've evolved into, where we're using our mind more and not our body. And so there's only so much you're going to be able to change in the next 80 to 100 years to condition and strengthen and have your body at peak performance. I wonder if there ever was a time where the body, you know, we could have done something like built and lifted those rocks, or done something crazy like that, right?
Yep.
That's a little thing for you to Sleep on a night there.
Well, it's true. Like we're talking about getting into the mind and into the intellect and how that's changing us. You know, yeah. Who lifted those big rocks?
Who lifted those big rocks, bro?
Right. If you believe, like if you look at the Bible talks about giants being on the earth at the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
Wow.
So
I didn't know that.
yeah, and there's been archaeological discoveries around the world where they've found like, you know, big footprints,
Yeah.
big handprints, big bones, like that would give evidence to some. The Bible talks about like a mixed race of human slash
Waddies.
yeah, like half angel, half man type entities that were born out of the son. It says the sons of God, which were the angels, liked the women, which were the daughters of men, and they took them for their brides, and basically interbred with mankind and created these abominations, which were the Hercules of the past and all these like folklore giants and godlike men who were able to do great feats and basically ruled the world and were able to tap into a lost knowledge that we no longer have access to, because at one point on earth, the spiritual and the physical was so intertwined, whereas when the flood came, it washed away all of that nonsense and mankind kind of had a chance to start over again. But yet we're finding all these relics and fossils and all these sorts of things that paint a picture that's something like what the Bible's talking about.
Yeah, I don't know if they've found anything. Like they find these, like the archaeological finds are like, how the hell is that thing cut so straight like that? And they're these massive things. But I still think they haven't found tools, right? Like tools that could have possibly, like relics or artifacts of tools that could have possibly done that work. Like they haven't found that yet. But you know, and I'm only obviously speaking from the tiny amount of stuff that I've listened to, but they haven't dug up enough either. Like I think it's like 1% of the earth or something that they've actually only.
It's ridiculous, yeah. Have you heard about the LiDAR scans underneath the Amazon jungle?
Yeah,
have you heard Rogan have guys on talk about that?
And in the recent ones under the pyramids, bro, and the power station theory.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, lad.
Yeah.
That's power station. That's Energex in there.
Those dogs got in there.
Those fellas, they're the fellas that ring me up. They're coming from out of the pyramids.
They're the cakes that
Pay
send
your
me
bill
them.
a month earlier, we'll give you a 10% discount. They're
That's
all
it.
in there just fucking sweatboxing it out, just fucking pushing the dialer. Just call.
That's it.
Yeah, no, I am all about that. I think, and Nikola Tesla.
Energex. Energex got all parked up underneath the pyramids.
Big stitch up.
The dogs.
Yeah, the dogs.
They resell their energy to them other dogs that then charge a fortune for your energy.
Yeah, true that.
You want to pivot away from that interesting topic that I kind of like reached the depth of my knowledge there on that side of things.
Let's pivot.
I don't even know where I'm going to pivot now. I forgot.
Just go back to the fungus, lad.
Fungal church.
I'm going to get on that, bro. I'm going to get on that.
It's a real thing.
I know.
Fungal church.
Yeah.
I don't know if fungal Jesus is there, but something's going on inside that cathedral, I can tell you.
Lad, I'm gonna bring this up. Let me
Bring it up.
Let me bring it up, Jamie.
Jamie, your dog, bring it up.
I brought it up with Mario when he was in about, because essentially, like you're talking about sound. Sound is vibration or frequency. It's all packed in there somehow. But have you seen? There's a video. I don't know if I sent it to you, and it's like this water feature, and it's like a. Sorry, I know I spoke about it last podcast, but I've got to say it again. It's like a water fountain that is literally just just picture a water fountain feature, right? Where
Yep.
water would fall back like that. But what actually happens is somehow there's radio or sound frequency that's actually pushing the water up, and it's in little marble size balls of water.
What?
Yeah, lad. And it's literally these little balls of water
Vibrating up.
are going up. And the fella's like, he's tripping out, and he's putting his hand around it. He'll slap like a little ball away, and he's just playing there, like just playing with it, and it's
As
just
you
all
would.
done from vibration.
Wow. So they're defying gravity with water by using frequency.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I'm not getting.
Bring that dog up, Jamie.
I'm getting all this other mad fungus stuff. I'm on YouTube though. I'm gonna look into that, lad. I'm gonna look into that. But oh, here we go.
Here you go.
He's connecting these little like
It's like a DJ.
little battery calipers onto this poor little mushroom. No way. No way. Or maybe I thought it was about to like David Guetta just jump into a.
Yeah.
No way.
That's fungal church, brother. I'm telling you.
Way.
That's him right there.
I just got mad images.
Hey.
I just got mad images. Yeah, lad. I just got mad images of like these big concerts just with like a big mushroom there. It's just like just ripping it. It's just like everyone just
You've been playing too much Mario Kart, haven't you?
out. Bro, psilocybin, man, it's a real thing. And no, that
Have you tried mushrooms?
I haven't, lad.
You haven't?
I haven't. You tried it?
Yeah, I've tried it.
When did you try it?
A few years ago now. How long ago?
What did you try it for? Did you try it for just for the effect, or was it like
Bloody Rogan, the dog.
yeah, he's
got in my
you,
brain.
eh?
He got me bad then.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going on mushrooms. Mushrooms going to solve all my bloody problems.
Yeah, right.
Going to cure me of depression or whatever else I was going through at the time. Let me try them mushrooms.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, well, I tried some and nah, man, it's. I know guys that love them. Like, will religiously take them. Like, rather than having a drink, we'll have mushrooms.
Wow, really?
Yeah, like I know I got that guy in my life.
Right.
He loves his mushrooms.
Wow.
Like, loves them.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, yeah, I had them once, right? So anyway, I took the mushrooms, and I'm watching these two guys play chess, and we all took them at the same time, and we're sitting there watching them play, and maybe they had like 4 or 5 moves within the space of say 10 minutes. It was really intense. Like we were all sitting there like with this big thing on our face like this, looking at them, like looking at the game going on. And I'm sitting there tripping out, like tripping on this mushroom trip, and freaking out a little bit and going, oh, what's going to happen to me? And then all of a sudden they stop playing and we're all just staring at the board like this. And then I'm looking at the pawn that's sitting on the table on the chessboard, and it starts to look like a chocolate fondue fountain.
Yeah, right.
Like it was almost like the rings were coming up out of the top of the pawn and then going cascading down the side. And I'm sitting there going, "Oi, bro, that pawn looks like a fondue fountain." And then the other lads are sitting there looking at the chessboard, tripping out, going, "Yeah, it's getting real trippy. Eh? Let's go for a walk." So we all got up from the chessboard because it's all geometric and shapes and everything, and went for a walk. And we walked about 20 meters down the road and go, "What are we doing? Let's go to the beach." Someone had a great idea to go to the beach, so we walked to the beach, had a swim, and I just went into this real introspective going, what did I do? What am I doing with my life?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, what am I a good dad? Am I a good son? Have I been a good son? Why? And I just started proper tripping on my life, reassessing everything. Like, it wasn't a fun.
It was like a negative.
It was giggly at the start. Like when we went for the walk, we were getting sort of giggly.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
while we were giggling, I was like, feeling the weight of my ego and myself.
Right.
You know, they talk about how it exposes the ego, and you deal with the ego, and a lot of people have an ego death, and they come back almost like with the dead ego, and their lives have changed. You know, Rogan talks about it. Lots of people talk about these life-changing experiences from it.
So is that psychedelic related? Or
Yeah. And all I did was get real introspective on myself.
Right.
I hated it.
Right.
Yeah. So it was fun at the start. It was all giggly, but it was a bit scary at the same time. And then I had probably one other experience with it. And the person that I was with had a really bad trip as well.
Right.
So
Well,
that was probably place and time wasn't real good. Like
Yeah, okay.
where we did it, where we were situated. So you know how sometimes when the beach gets all frothy,
yes.
and all the froth, like, you know, we went down to the beach, and the place looked like an apocalyptic scene with all this like foam everywhere. The beach was gone, the wind was blowing. It was right on dusk. The mosquitoes, like, you know, like were like friggin' bats or ibises.
Yeah.
You know, flying and landing on you. Or at least they looked like that when I was tripping anyway. And we just started getting attacked by mosquitoes. So we had to like get up, grab all of our stuff, and like run to the car. I thought I was just going to sit down and have a bit of a trip on the beach, but it didn't turn out that way. So as much as I tried to give it a go, I even tried microdosing for a bit as well. So mushies.
Yeah.
So like microdose, just have a small portion of it every day.
Right.
That was good.
Okay.
That kind of act like especially when I was going through depression at the time, that kind of acted like I don't know, like a pick-me-up. It just made the world seem brighter. Like colours seemed more vibrant, and you know, like it just generally made you feel happier.
Yeah. Cool.
You know, it kind of put like a rose-coloured, you know, lens on your eyes. So microdosing was good, but it didn't didn't get to the heart of my trauma or my issues or anything like that. It was not as life-changing as some of the other experiences that guys have like that. But it also didn't really go to the fullest extent of what you can do with psychedelics.
Right.
You know, when they smoke the toad
Yep.
juice and stuff like that, and they have them big trips, and they go and see those little people or whatever it is that they see, and they come back and they're different. Yeah. Mine was just a few giggles, a few crazy things that I could see geometrically with my eyes. And
I wonder how that'd affect
about
you
it.
now, dealing with whatever you've dealt with, like in the time that's changed, like mentally, emotionally. I wonder how that'd change. Like, I wonder what it would change. Are you still sort of driven or motivated to try it again, or not really?
Nah,
You
not really.
You don't think you'll ever do it
done
again?
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was desperate. You know, it was desperate times, and I was searching, and searching for a way to heal. I just didn't know that the way through healing for me was through the pain. I had to actually face the pain and go back and go, well, why am I in pain? Why emotionally am I so dysfunctional in that particular area?
Yeah.
And deal with that. And, you know, the drugs, the prescriptions that they give you to handle that sort of stuff, it's all just Band-Aid, in my opinion. Yeah. It doesn't really get to the heart of the issue.
Yeah.
And heart work's hard work.
Yeah.
Dealing with this.
Heart work
Is hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've done a lot of that hard work, a lot of soul searching, a lot of counselling, a lot of, you know. So that I found that drugs have always been a Band-Aid for me.
Yeah.
And mushrooms were no different. It didn't really give me the breakthrough that I was hoping for. But I never smoked the toad or did those really crazy MDMA trips and that Rogan talks about. I don't think I'd do it after trying mushrooms and having that type of experience.
Yeah, I don't know if I am. I think I'm interested to try it. Like, I think I'll have that approach with a lot of things that aren't detrimental to health.
Yep.
But also I think, if my son came to me and said, "Dad, what do you reckon? should I try this? I'm like, oh, what advice would I give him? And that's probably the same advice I'd give myself. So I'd have to think about that, eh?
It's hard, man. Like as an ex-stoner, trying to talk to your teenage son about not getting stoned. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm a hypocrite if I say don't do it, it's not good, or it doesn't. I can't undersell it to him.
No, but you can give him your experience.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
What an amazing thing to be able to give him.
Yeah, that's it.
And give it to him with love.
That's it.
Right.
That's it. Got plenty of situations where I say, don't do it like that, son, because that's how I did it.
Yeah.
But sometimes it is a difficult conversation when you feel the weight and the guilt of why you're doing it or why you made those decisions. If you haven't really ratified that yet, if you haven't done the hard heart work,
Yeah.
then sometimes when you're having those conversations, you feel a bit like, I'm a hypocrite.
Yeah.
You know, you can, just hard conversations with teenage kids like that, you know.
That's going to be interesting. Hang on, lad. Oh, yeah, cool. I just couldn't see the red light on that camera, and I'm like, go away, dickhead.
Go away, dog.
I'm not turning that on, but it's on. Mad topics, man.
Yeah. And the thing about the mushies is that they're everywhere on the Sunshine Coast. Like every wet season, you can go and get as many mushies as you want from any cow paddock.
Is that where you got them from?
Well, that's where the guy that I know gets them from. Literally just...
But are they legit or this?
Brother, it rains.
Yeah, I know.
They sprout up out of the poo.
Yeah.
And the lads just go and grab them out of the paddocks. It's that easy. And they pop up overnight.
Yeah, okay.
So, it rained last night.
Yeah, right.
Let's go get some mushies. It's like that. They can come back with like buckets full of them sometimes.
Yeah, okay. And okay.
That's how it's so.
I know.
It's so accessible.
It's a plant. Like it's awesome. It is like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the where they've had the biggest breakthrough, I believe, with it is with PTSD. So guys like like my brother, he's got PTSD from the army.
Yeah.
He we'd love for him to try it to see if it. Well, yeah, he's not. I don't think he's super keen to try it. I think my brother, who's an advocate of it, Kyle, he's tried to talk to my other brother Adam about it. But yeah, it's the stigma around it. I think is too much for him to want to try it.
What stigma?
Well,
it's a drug. Like it's a psychedelic drug.
Yeah, that brother in particular is not a podcaster.
Yeah.
He doesn't listen to podcasts. So think about I got convinced by Rogan. Take Rogan out of the picture, and people think of it like they used to think of it. It's some psychedelic drug that's going to have a bad trip on.
Yeah, he is shining a lot of light on a lot of things. Hey, it is interesting to see the power that he's got. Like so many points of view. Yeah.
Yeah, man. He swayed an election. Yeah. The leader of the free world is in the White House now, probably because the lad went on Rogan.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of energy behind him anyway. I think he was going to get in anyway.
Yeah.
But Rogan...
This is your man, eh, Trump? You're just itching, you're just scratching over there. Let me bring him up.
But if you think about the pull of a podcast...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And the fact that he could just go in and have this conversation for 2 hours and not be a script or
that's it.
Something like even doing this now ourselves, podcasting, like you don't, if you have to memorize something, you don't understand it. And when you're in sales, politics, anything that is that where you're that presenter, and you put on it, you have like a show presence. There is that sort of script, and I like, bro. I love Tony Robbins, right? I grew up on the lad, but I listen to him now, and I can hear.
You can hear the script.
I can hear the script, but too, the script works, and the script is what people need to hear, and it's the same thing, but like not everything that he says, but there's this difference in just having this raw, real, present conversation, and sitting in that pocket. That dialogue, just literally sitting and just firing back and forth and not probably so much thinking. It's just vibing with the energy, right? And there is an art to being able to do that and being comfortable with doing that. And with someone with so much on the line like Trump, to just sit there and give the world that.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that was a huge thing, right? And
Humanized him.
100% humanized him. You hear the flaws, and bro, and even the space that we work in marketing now, or that I work in, we're starting to see, right, like the inauthentic. Sorry, people love the authenticity in the like they love the flaws.
Yep.
Like and actually Mario and I were talking about this the other day. It's like, and especially with AI and how it's crossed over into music, you almost have this appreciation now for imperfection.
That's a good point, man.
Because perfection now, like I read a proposal, I see a spelling mistake in it. I'm like, someone must have wrote that. But you almost...
Wow. That's a trip, man. It is though, isn't it? It's like we live in a world of perfection now with AI particularly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's wow. more value and appreciation and authenticity in imperfection.
Yep.
Because everyone knows that no work went into that.
Yep.
No actual real blood, sweat and tears went into that. Like when you listen to music, live music where like the drum might go a little bit off beat, the chords just play, they fall off the back of the drum, whatever that is.
Yep.
It's like it's almost like you're listening and you're craving for that right now. And same, like I can't stand in the business world when people use. There is an absolute definite use for AI as a tool. As a tool.
Yep.
What's happening to the value of it, right? When you, I think, because it can be exploited as well, and it's creating this. There's this etiquette now of when to use it, when not to use it, how much to use it, and people are fucking sharp and they're just looking for it now. And if you spot it, it's sort of like
them big dashes. As soon as I see them big dashes, sometimes I don't even read the email. It's like because like you said, I'm craving authenticity as well. I'm trying to find the humanity in the thing.
Yeah, and oh, bro, I think it's so interesting now, and because we use it a lot, like with our proposals and things, and
It's funny how you should say that, because like even my guy Adnan, he's been through a journey where English is his second language, speaks brilliant English, like amazing English, but he's had a real learning curve since he's come into the business, because he's kind of like a mouthpiece for the software and for me at times. And when he started to use ChatGPT, we changed our whole processes around that, because it used to be he'd write an email draft, send it to me, I'd proof it, I would fix it up, I'd send it back to him, he'd send it out, and we had this whole process. ChatGPT come along, he'd just pump out emails.
Yeah.
And that was great, because it's like, cool, I read his email, I go, cool, that was good, man, you wrote a great email, it's gone out, but then we're getting feedback saying it's robotic. It's inauthentic.
Yeah.
So can you tell him to like ease up on the ChatGPT?
Yeah.
And he's gone back to now. I'm like, I'll fix his email up, and he said, "No, boss, can you just send it back to me, and I'll make it mine." So he's learning to he uses it to make sure that the content is good, but then he makes it his.
Yeah.
By going back and rewriting it and making it sound like him.
Yeah. I think there's just there's a new context, right, that's opening up, and it's the same. It's the same. I think we've talked about it before, right? There's an etiquette when you're on a Zoom call, and it's the same way as if you roll in, you meet someone, you look them in the eye, you shake. What, lad? What are you laughing at? Got a booger in my nose?
Have you seen the new the eye tracking technology?
Yes, lad.
No, I'm talking like it projects eyes onto your face so that your eyes stay locked onto the camera.
Yeah, lad.
Sorry. As soon as you said that, I had a call the other day with my guy Adnan, and I turned it on for the first time. And he's like, bro, what's going on with your face? And these big googly eyes are following him around wherever he goes on the screen. And I'm like looking over there, I'm reading my emails, and he's like, bro, what's going on with your eyes? I was like, dang, it didn't work.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, because bro, in here, like we could take a photo of someone and we could use AI. We do it heaps now. AI voiceovers. We type it in, bro, and the like the pronunciation and cadence in the voice that you can change and tweak and all that sort of shit. But what I was going to say is I feel like there's just this new context for it opening up now, where at the same way you are taught there's an etiquette to meet someone. You walk in, you walk up to them, you look them in the eye, you shake the hand, you squeeze their hand a bit, you say, hello, yes, how are you? Yep. And so I find quite quickly now I'm becoming pretty judgmental on like Zoom calls and things where like if someone doesn't show their face and I've never met them for the first time and I'm doing business with these people and like I'm just looking at or listening to their voice, I'm like,
a blank screen.
I'm like, come on, like what are you hiding, right? And then I actually really like people that I actually really like people. I've hired one. Out of hiring a few people and looking at candidates. How they conducted themselves or the etiquette that they gave me in those video calls with like a plain, but they've had consideration to consider what's in the background and show me the background, right? And have it well presented as you would if you were having an interview, right? But little things like that. So there is, for me anyhow, there's a etiquette inside of that. And so I feel like now as well with AI, and I'm specifically talking about ChatGPT from a literature standpoint, right? Whether it's emails, proposals, all those types of things, is how and where and why you're using it. It's an interesting time, mate. So that
It surely is, especially when you deploy remote agents that can work like a person and communicate and take calls and make calls and do all that sort of stuff. That's the era of AI that we're entering into now, where you can have virtual agents work for you, make calls, make cold calls, make bookings for you at you can create an agent today, right now, and have that agent call someone for you and make a booking or a reservation at a restaurant or wherever you want.
Yeah, it's interesting times. That's because Leonie doesn't use ChatGPT as much as I do, and I do my best to stay creative with it and not exploit it where I don't think it should be used. But like for example, I had to send an important email last night, and sometimes if I couldn't be fucked, I'll just fucking chuck it in there. Yeah, boom, send it over. But this one, I was like, no. I need this to be. I just there's no way I felt. I can't put it in there. Like I just couldn't do it. I was just like, nah. This is exactly what I need to say and how I need to say it, and fucking boom. So but I think we're starting to understand and develop that. And I said with Leonie, I was telling her like how I use it, and I got ChatGPT to give me a graph on the topics and subjects on how I use it and what I've been using it for. It gave me this pie chart. And then I'm like, can you break that down further? And it was interesting to see what I was using it for. And then I said, can you, I started talking with it, right? Give me any suggestions on what you think I need to improve to help me, help me grow and blah, 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 all that sort of shit. And
be a better operator,
It's cool because there was three things. And gosh, I can't remember one of them. One of them was grammar. No, it was one of them was wording things a particular way. It was actually a big part of the pie. Anyhow,
what do you mean? So you were using ChatGPT to help you word things or to articulate a concept or an idea?
Yeah, correct. But a lot of what I use it for too is for proposals, is for sales presentations and proposals. But that's how I have been using it. And now I'm sort of stepping out of that and I feel like I'm using it so much more probably strategically now for the business, and just a couple of different things.
Do you create advisors out of it, or like?
Well, I feel like it is an advisor in general, right? But I don't frame up. I see how you can frame it up. Like, you are a fucking, like you give it the context to think inside of, right? I don't do that. No. It's you know what it probably is at this point in time, primarily for myself, is a tool that I can quickly unload and express thoughts and points, and it can capture it all.
Yep.
And then it can organize it.
Yep.
And I can refer back to it. And then I can observe that and then think creatively around it. And I feel like it just becomes this catalyst for ideas and thoughts, and organized, right? And as an example, there's I think I may have mentioned I'm writing a book, right?
Lad.
Yeah, I thought I told you this. No?
No.
And
I would remember. I'll be like, my lad's writing a book. Look out.
Yeah, lad. No, it's something I work on it every day.
Yeah.
Right. So when I do my time in the morning,
Yep.
right, so I train, I swim, I do my little meditation, I sit there and
7 Atomic Habits of Blake Martin. Look out.
doesn't have a title yet. No, but really, again, the purpose of this is, I don't know, lad, getting older, I think about, I just live in that thought more of like, if I died next week, what's my legacy, and what am I leaving my kids, basically?
Yep.
From and probably more so from like a wisdom standpoint, which is heavily part of why this is important to me, doing these podcasts, because I feel like they'll get to see who I am, right, and who are the people I love and hang around, and how I connect with them.
Yep.
But so the book it goes that one deeper, and specifically around points that I think are lessons that I've learned that are really important, right? And so nearly it's rare I'll miss a day, but I'll go in there and I'll just put something down, and I don't do it in ChatGPT. I do it in my phone in notes. But bro, like literally for the last, I can't even remember when I started doing it. It's only been maybe like 5 months, but every day for 5 months,
That's intense,
sometimes it can just be like a little paragraph or a sentence, and sometimes, bro, I can literally just be like, pouring out of me, right?
Does it feel good too to get that out?
Bro, I'm finding now that the thing I wrote this morning was literally that. I was like, it was around
Fungal Church.
Fungal Church. That's tomorrow. No, lad, it was around. I can't remember exactly what I wrote down, right? But so it went around the angle of enclosing the book, right? So when I bring it to a close, I'm like, this is actually doing this has been such a rewarding thing to be able to come in with this intention of giving this to my kids, right?
Yep.
Two most loved creatures on this planet that I love most, and I come into this. Quite a spiritual, routine. Like I'll train, I swim, I sit down, I sit there, and I do my meditation thing, and then I come into here, and then I just write these messages, and it's this really cool way that I can express myself doing that. And I wrote like something along the lines of this morning, like in closing, so much about your life, you feel like you want to learn something, and so even for them when they read the book, there's going to be so much power in them. Like they'll probably want to, hopefully they'll want to connect and read this book, right?
Yep.
And they'll get so much from it, but also know that there's power in
Getting it down.
Well, not reading the book anymore, right? So not relying on it,
Right,
and
right.
for me too, like. So how do I articulate this? It's like you don't need anything, bro. They don't need anything, right? And they won't need anything. They'll have everything they have. they'll have everything they ever need,
Yep.
right? And even so, they need to know that, and so that's probably something I wanted to say in there. I wouldn't ever want them to sort of feel like they weren't up to a standard of, if I was putting all of these lessons that I've learned in my life that I just want to share with them, probably not taking it all too seriously either, right? And that's it. Close the book, get rid of the, and it's that is what it is, I guess.
Yeah. So your legacy is not a roadmap for them. It's more of a tool for them.
Yeah, I think
to reflect on and to go, oh, that's what Dad was thinking like that, and that makes sense why he thinks like that,
and maybe the act of me doing this is actually more for me than for them right now. The fact that I feel like I need to do this for them, I don't want to get too deep and crazy into it, but like, what insecurity do I have where I feel like they're not going to be okay if I'm not around, or if I am around, or what's inside of that, and so. But you can fucking unpack that so many different ways. And I'm like, really, at the end of the day, these are just some cool things that I think are important that if I can give you, and bro, one of them is as simple as smile, right? Like, or sit down at a dinner table, have dinner with your kids, and make them laugh.
Yep.
Like little things like that. There's just these little, there's just some real little things, bro, that I think are important, and that's all it is, right? So
that's so important. Like, just that one point, make your kids laugh.
Make your kids laugh, man.
Have fun with them, right?
Oh man, yeah, have fun, bro. You. My kids love having you around, bro. I said that to Tio and kissed him this morning. And I'm like, all right, bud, have a good day. And I kissed him. I said, Denym's coming over tonight. He's like, is he? And he goes, yeah. so
Can't help it. I'm a big clown.
Yeah, lad. That's so important, man.
It is, man.
So important.
It is. And I grew up, my childhood was, I didn't have any laughter in it. So I had to make it. I had to go out and make laughter happen because there wasn't a lot there. It's very boring, actually, my childhood. So I had to make my own fun, and I loved people, but I wasn't around them enough.
Yeah.
So any chance I got, I was stupid silly just to try and get a laugh and a reaction out of people.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of carried on over into parenthood.
Yeah, I've definitely had some of my biggest laughs with you, lad.
Yeah,
for sure, man. Just to quickly though, I'd circle back on that. So, because I went down that rabbit hole because of ChatGPT and when to use it and when not to use it. And I've been so selective because I don't want, like, that's one of those, that's in context of what that is, that message to my kids. Like, I could just feed that in to ChatGPT, but it's something where I'm like, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. And
so you're keeping it out of it. And even the editing of it, when you come back to it, it's going to be you, is it?
Yeah. So I was talking with Ben about this the other day. It's that, like, there's literally this defining moment in history now where written literature up until that point will have this different appreciation and respect. And then after that, like, if you've written a book, did you write the book? Who wrote the book?
A human wrote that?
Yeah.
Oh, you should read it. It's so good.
Yeah. Someone actually had to sit down, and they probably did that on a typewriter, and then that went to someone, and they actually sat there and they really thought about that. And there's so much value and authenticity in that. And so I'm like, I'll have to get it published, bro. Like, my grammar's terrible, and it's like, and it's pretty loose too, bro. Like, I keep revisiting and coming back to it, and to organize it. And the honest thing that I'm transparent with is that is how to organize my thoughts, right? So because it's been something that I haven't come to with a structure, I've literally just been expressing and just getting this down. And sometimes I've gone in on a topic. I've noticed, like, I'll go in on a topic 3 times, right? I've got ChatGPT to help me organize my titles and asked why it should, and that's really fucking cool. Like, what it's given me back. And
pattern recognition is off the charts. Like, to get that feedback and go, cool, like, to structure your thoughts. It's so good.
And 2, because it learns about you.
Yeah.
Learns about the user. That That's fucking crazy. Like,
Yep.
that's crazy.
I've done that with ChatGPT. Like my GPTs themselves, I load all my emails up in there.
Yeah.
And I just de-identify them, load them up and go, this is how I write emails. So whenever you give me an email, I want it to be in this style.
Mine would say, use more words. Bro, Luke always gets up me, because my emails, if I could, I'd just send a thumbs up. Or that one.
Yeah, Gornan.
Yeah.
Just throw the Gornan out there.
Gorn.
One word says it all.
What's the hand gesture for Gornan?
Yeah, for all those who don't know at home.
Oh, it's that finger. Sorry.
Yep.
That's all you should.
Shout out to Dad. He's missing a finger like this.
Yeah.
And my kids do it now. Like whenever they're sick and they don't want it, or they don't want you around, or they So my father had a motorbike accident, significant motorbike accident, broke his collarbone, punctured his lung, all sorts of stuff, right? We thought he was going to die. So all us boys jumped in a vehicle and then drove down from Sunshine Coast to Dubbo. And we get into Dubbo Base Hospital. Everyone's real somber. We saw Auntie out the front and gave her a kiss. And, your dad's in there. He's all right. Go and see him. So we went in there. And he's all hooked up to the machine, helping him breathe and everything. And the nurse is in there just very politely trying to help him with his medication or whatever. And he's getting real cranky at her. And he's getting of that age now. He don't care. He don't give a shit. He just turned his head away from her and just went. And he had like a drip in his arm and everything. And he's telling her to go away like this. And the first reaction us boys had, we just burst out in laughter. Because it's so typical of Dad, shooing someone away like they have no value.
And so now whenever you shoot someone away, you pull your finger in, so it looks like you lost a finger.
I can't help it. It's like this here. And now my kids do it. I say, son, do you want to come with me to the shops and help me with the shopping? He's like... So Dad's legacy is that.
I love that, bro. I think I was doing that at the breakfast table the other day. I was doing that there, and this conversation come up. Oh man, that's a crack up. That's so good, so good. Yeah, lad, what we got? Oh, hang on, man. Hey,
Got some H2O.
hang on, lad. Wait.
Where? Fungal Church.
I don't know about that. I'm going to have to go and connect up a mushroom after this. He's down there.
You got the board here. Just
plug it in.
Plug one in.
Just sit a mushroom in that chair. Hang on, lad. I just got to quickly hit this fella. Oh. What do you reckon, lad? Do you want to call it?
Yeah, what's that?
Hour 30.
Far out. We said an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a mad one, man.
Yeah, it was good, eh?
Love it, eh?
Yeah, brother.
That energy, lad. That's mad. All right, guys. Thanks for checking in. We'll get Denym back in on this one. This is mad.
Catch ya.
See you later.